Darkcast Network, indie pods with a dark side.
Hey, little skeletons. I'm Gina.
And I'm Amber.
And this is Weird True Crime.
Every week, these What the Fuck Wednesdays are so needed for some ear bleach from all the crazy we talk about.
If you need more giggles, head to our Instagram at Weird True Crime for some hilarious memes and more.
We love hearing from you too, so drop us a line at our email, weirdtruecrime@gmail.com.
Before we go over who is and isn't an asshole, let's hear our riddle of the day. I am alive without breath, and cold is death. I am never thirsty, but always drinking. What am I? Stay tuned to the end to find out the answer, along with me, because once again, I have no idea what it is.
First up on the Am I the Asshole chopping block is a story from user Ginger Nut Biscuits on Reddit. I know, the names are just fantastic.
Yeah.
Quote, am I the asshole for calling the police on my soon-to-be ex-mother-in-law? I, 27 female, split from my soon-to-be ex-husband, 27 male, 3 months ago on the day our son was born.
Yikes.
This is because I am ginger, my husband is blonde, but our baby came out with dark hair. He freaked out in the delivery room, and his behavior got him kicked out of the hospital. I had to beg him to do a paternity test, and he finally agreed after a month, and it proved that I didn't cheat. We had been together since we were 13, so I was devastated, and all I wanted was him back. But I've come to my senses and decided that someone who believes that school-level Punnett squares are the be-all and end-all of biological inheritance is not the type of person I want to be with.
Mm-mm.
I was also treated like crap by everyone but my older brother Alex while we were waiting for the results because they all thought I had cheated. It was a horrible experience, and as a result, I've lost many friends and family members.
That's awful.
Since the results came back, my ex has been begging me to get back with him. I moved in with Alex after we split, and he comes almost every day to beg me to get back with him. My in-laws have also been harassing me too, especially my mother-in-law, who has come over 4 times in the past week asking me to forgive her son and to let God back into my heart. I used to be a Christian, and so are all my in-laws and my family, but how I was treated when my baby was born made me lose faith fast. The whole church community treated me like trash during this whole ordeal, and it made me want nothing to do with them anymore. And I don't want to raise my son in that sort of community. Yesterday, my mother-in-law turned up to Alex's when he wasn't there, and she had the pastor from the church I used to attend with them. They practically forced their way in, and I was being berated like a child for not forgiving my ex's lapse in judgment.
Wow.
The pastor basically sat there and said I would be going to hell if I didn't take my ex back. I excused myself to the bathroom and called the police. Pastor and mother-in-law were escorted out. Now I'm being harassed on social media and being called and texted by literally everyone that knows both me and my ex and his family. They're calling me the asshole for going nuclear and calling the police on 2 people who weren't being threatening. And they're demanding that I apologize immediately. I'm starting to feel bad now because I know they care in their own twisted way, and I shouldn't have gone nuclear on them. Am I the asshole? End quote.
No, like she's the only one who's not the asshole
My
in this situation. What the fuck is wrong with this family?
So the funny thing is, I'm dark complected. Patrick is your typical blonde hair, blue eye.
Mm-hmm.
You would think, Just like they were thinking, the darker genes are more dominant usually. No, every single one of the kids on my husband's side of the family looks identical to him.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
if
and
there had
sometimes genes skip a generation. Like, sorry to interrupt, but yeah, like
No.
you just never know like where that pulls from.
You cannot count on what is considered dominant or recessive genes in the whole baby making process because they're going to
No.
frickin' do whatever the hell they want.
Exactly. And if you were to put it that way, you could say that my 7-year-old wasn't mine because he has blonde hair and blue eyes, and I have almost black hair and brown eyes. So this is like what a douche. And the fact that she would have a pastor come to the house to try to convince her to accept him, like that is harassment. She had every right to call the police.
She's a better person than I am. I wouldn't have even opened the damn door.
Oh, I wouldn't have either. I wouldn't have even entertained it. So
Nope.
no, definitely not the asshole. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, if she had been entertaining the possibility of getting back together with him, then I can see her wanting to placate. But no, she had decided, I'm done with all of that bullshit. Yeah, no, hell no. Nope, not the asshole. And Reddit agreed, not the
Good.
asshole.
Good. I hope that she is so rid of him and the rest of his family at this point because wow, what a toxic mess.
Baby already has the asshole genes. She needs to remove baby from said situation so those genes don't flourish.
Yeah. Good luck, baby. Poor baby. Okay. Asshole number 2? Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. User interesting reply 118 writes, am I the asshole for calling police on a neighbor after she keyed my car because of books I write? Holy shit. I am a single woman in my early 30s, making my living writing and self-publishing adult fiction. By adult fiction, I mean adult fiction, with majority of the plot being steamy. Hey, good for you. That's mine. She didn't write that. I'm writing that. I don't typically tell people what I write, but I do tell them I write books for a living under a pen name. And if you're questioning my writing abilities, I have an editor to correct my mistakes. I am not hiding it per se, but I am not telling everyone I meet what I do for a living, and none of my neighbors knew. Only a bunch of friends. I live in a house alone. Pretty much all of my neighbors are either young families or retired couples. My next door neighbor is a young couple. We've been polite to each other, but haven't been close or anything. Lately, the husband, let's call him Roger, became very friendly towards me, which I tried to ignore, but he's been getting too flirty for my liking, and I started avoiding him. Ooh, bad news bears. They had a barbecue over the bank holiday weekend, and I was taking rubbish out to put in my bin. Roger looked at me, waved hi, and whispered something to his friend, and they both watched me very carefully, which was incredibly creepy. Ew. On my way through the garden, I saw Roger's wife, Dahlia, leaving the house with her friend, and they both looked at me with disgust and whispered something to each other. It was weird, and I hurried back inside. The next morning, I found some religious leaflets put through my letterbox. They were just printed on normal printer paper and were warning about lustful behavior leading to hell, etc. Threw them away, but kept finding similar leaflets put through my letterbox for the next week. Since I am working from home, I decided to see who's leaving those leaflets, and to my surprise, it was Dahlia. Are you really surprised, though? I'm not surprised. I decided to confront her and ask to stop putting religious leaflets through my door. Despite me being polite, she was not happy. She told me that I should rethink my life because what I write is disgusting. It's pretty vanilla. And she found her husband reading it at night, and you can imagine doing what? Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Ugh. She kept going on and on how I'm going to burn in hell, how I have no morals, etc. Well, I told her to stay away from me and to discuss this with her husband, and I closed the door in her face. Don't know who, but someone told them what I do for a living. A day later, I found the word SLT painted on my door. I'm assuming that means slut. Okay.
Yeah. They
Ugh.
abbreviate for Reddit and stuff.
Gotcha. A few days later, I caught her keying my car. She was almost done with the word whore. Oh my God. Well, I called the police on her, and since I installed cameras after the slut incident, she is being taken to court over keying my car. I talked to my other neighbor. She had asked about the police about it, and she told me that I went overboard, that Dahlia was clearly insecure, but she's a lovely woman and great mother, and I should have talked to her instead of calling the police and give her a chance to change her behavior. Am I the asshole for calling the police and not giving Dahlia a chance?
No. No.
She already told her to leave her alone. That's a problem she needs to take up with her own husband, not her.
Yup.
This sounds fake. Like, I know it's not, but like, really?
Yeah.
The childishness of it all. Oh my God. And she's a mother and she's writing this stuff on her neighbor's house and car.
Yeah, good example to set for the kiddos.
Wow, she needs some help. Not the asshole at all.
No,
she told her to leave her alone. And she's damaging her property at this point. That's 100% illegal and deserves to be
worthy of
on.
a police phone call, yes. You know, she told her to just leave her alone. She didn't let her know, oh yeah, your hubby is getting real creepy and familiar and flirty with me. She left that alone. She just said, take it up with your husband. Mm-hmm. Yeah, insecure women, I have been one of those a few times in my life, don't always make the most rational decisions, but...
No, they don't. Yeah, no, but it's obviously not this woman's fault. She was not doing anything wrong. She wasn't entertaining the husband. She was just brushing it off and leaving it alone. And this was like not her problem at all. And Reddit agreed and stated that she was not the asshole. Wow, I hope she is not neighbors with them anymore.
Hopefully.
Let's just say that. Wow, what a bitch. Okay.
And moving on to number 3. A deleted user writes, quote, am I the asshole for saying I'd call the police if a family heirloom wasn't returned to my adopted daughter? I, 28 female, met my husband X, 30 male, 10 years ago. At the time, he was a single dad to a 6-month-old baby girl, Lily, 11 female. I worked at the bakery he'd stop at every Saturday before their walk, and eventually we started going out. We got married 6 years ago, and I legally adopted Lily soon after that. In my family, it's a tradition that the oldest daughter gets gifted an old sapphire ring on her 11th birthday. Oh, how sweet. The ring belonged to my grandmother, who gave it to my aunt, who gave it to me because all of my cousins are male. Lily's 11th birthday was a few months ago, and I gave the ring to her because she's my oldest daughter. Aww. She loves that ring more than anything. She put it on a chain to wear around her neck so that she could keep better track of it, and in the months that she's had it, I've never seen her take it off. My sister Mia, 24 female, is one of Lily's favorite people. Lily really loves her aunt, and sometimes Mia will just text to let me and X know that she's picking Lily up from school to go eat or go to the bookstore or something like that. The other day, I got one of those texts from Mia, so I just told her to be safe, have fun, and make sure my daughter came home at a decent time because it was a school night. Lily got home about an hour after we had dinner, and she barely said hello to her dad or me before she went up to her room. I thought that maybe she was just tired, so he and I didn't immediately ask her what was going on, but later that night I went to go check on her because I wanted to be sure. When I walked into her room, I saw that she had been crying. I asked her what was wrong, and it took a minute, but she eventually told me that Mia took the ring from her because it's a family heirloom that's supposed to go to the actual oldest daughter, and because I adopted her, that means she isn't really family.
Oh my God.
The only reason I didn't go to Mia's apartment that night to get it back was because I spent the rest of the evening reassuring Lily that she is my family and she is 100% my actual oldest daughter, no matter what our DNA is or what anyone else says. I left Mia a voicemail the next morning telling her to return the ring before I drive over there and get it myself. She texted saying she would only give it to me if I had a daughter before she did, but until then, she'd keep it safe to make sure I didn't give it back to the wrong person. So then I told her that if she didn't return the ring by 2 p.m. that day, I would be calling the police and reporting it stolen. She started texting like crazy, saying I was being ridiculous and doing too much. Our mom is in on it now too, and she thinks saying I'd contact the police was taking it too far, and that Mia was only trying to keep to the family tradition. End quote. No, call the cops.
Oh, she stole it from an 11-year-old.
Yes.
Who is family? It's like
and
saying
told her she wasn't really family because she was adopted.
That breaks my heart.
If that doesn't make Mia the asshole, I don't know what does.
Mia is 100% the asshole in this situation. That is horrible. And they knew this tradition, and if they had questions or concerns about it, that should have been a conversation they had before it was gifted.
And with an adult, not go straight to the child and take it away.
No, this should have been an adult conversation between the women of the family. And honestly, it shouldn't have been a conversation.
No.
This little girl has been in her life for years and years. Her entire life, this is the only mother she knows. And she is a daughter to her. It just doesn't... Wow, the nerve of some people.
Right?
The audacity is just disgusting.
Definitely not the asshole, and Reddit agrees. Not the asshole.
Wow. I seriously, that gave me goosebumps, angry, ragey.
Angy, so angy, much angy, so anger.
so angy. It's I feel like I'm one of those dog videos, with the dog.
Yep.
Okay. User 2xgayx22, writes, am I the asshole because I don't want to cancel my plans to go to a funeral/viewing? Last Thursday, my stepfather, technically grandfather, died. A date has not been planned for a funeral as of today. However, in this upcoming week, I already have a small trip planned with people who have paid me for shares in a hotel. I also already purchased tickets and even have spent the last few months preparing. I know my family wants me there and I also want to go. However, in this occasion that it is planned on top of each other, I'm unsure what to do. I know they will be upset at me, but I just don't enjoy being around that type of stuff. I know my grandma needs my support and others. I just process things a lot differently, and while I am sad, I do not want to reminisce and everything for the next week. I do best by moving on and distracting myself. I don't know, I feel like I'm just signed up for a lot, and the process and guilt for canceling would be more to add to my plate. Am I the asshole? Yes. Your family member died. Things happen. Sometimes you have to cancel plans to be there for the people that need you. And that's life. And it's not about you.
I think it is telling in this situation if their automatic response isn't to just cancel their plans to be there. Maybe they weren't that close. Maybe there's just not that much of an emotional connection.
Yeah. And I think that's totally fair, but do you have other people in your life that you care about that are upset by this passing, that could use the emotional support? And I think that's what you have to consider in this situation.
Personally, I'm on the fence about this one.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I would say asshole just because I see the family obligation there, unless you have a horrible relationship with your family and you're not close at all, and then I get it. But it does sound like this person's family does want them there, and they are relatively close to at least some of them.
Mm-hmm. They also, they even said they process things differently, and not everybody needs to have a funeral or needs to be at the funeral to have that closure to be able to move on. And sometimes it just makes the whole grieving process worse for some people. So, I mean, if that's how they are, I wouldn't force anyone to go to a funeral that doesn't want to be there, that's not going to benefit from being there, because they're just going to make it worse for everybody else. So that's why I'm on the fence about it. Like,
I see that too. I'm
don't
still
know.
leaning towards asshole just from my own personal experiences with these types of situations.
Yep.
But it's hard to know without understanding a little bit more about the situation.
Yeah.
So maybe the asshole. Maybe.
Potential asshole.
Potential. Reddit states asshole, but
I agreed with you.
yeah.
All right, number 5. User material_kiwi1651 writes, quote, "Am I the asshole for calling the police on my mother-in-law? I, 28 female, got married to my husband, 34 male, a week ago. We got engaged about a year ago, and when I got engaged, my mother gave me a pair of earrings, which she said every woman for generations in our family has worn to their weddings. They are a 4-carat dangling earrings, and they are worth a lot.
Whoa.
I felt very honored to be given them, and it made me feel closer to my grandmother who had died 2 months prior. About 3 months after that, I went wedding dress shopping with my mother, my sister, and my fiance's mother. I brought all the jewelry that I would be wearing to my wedding to see how they matched the dresses. When I put the jewelry on, my mother-in-law kept going on about how gorgeous the earrings were. My mother explained the story and how they were a family heirloom passed down generations. I found the dress of my dreams and bought it. On the day of my wedding, I had everything ready in my room: my wedding dress, my flowers, my shoes, my makeup, and my jewelry. I was in there with my soon-to-be mother-in-law. I then needed to go to the toilet, and when I came back, my mother-in-law was gone. I wasn't sure what had happened, but I just thought she maybe got called away to do something. I then noticed my earrings were gone. I knew straight away she had taken them. I found her and confronted her, and she said she didn't take them. I asked if I could look through her bag, and she said no and gripped onto it. I said that if she didn't let me look, I would call the police, which I then did, as she still wouldn't let me look. The police arrived and searched her, and the earrings were found in her bag. They were returned to me, and they asked if I wanted to press charges. I wanted to talk to my fiancé first, and he said he would support me if I wanted to. I didn't want to decide in that moment, so I just ignored it and had a great night. That was a week ago, and ever since then, I've been getting loads of threatening messages and calls from my husband's side of the family. My mother-in-law has been sending me extremely hateful texts, and I think I want to press charges, but I'm still not sure if it's a good idea." End quote. Oh, honey, press charges.
Oh my God. I don't know. Like if my mother-in-law stole family heirlooms on my wedding day, I'd be rethinking that marriage. I'd be like, do I really want to get involved with this
With
bullshit?
that level of crazy. Yeah, but that's not his fault. His mama's.
And he did support her.
Exactly.
Then I would be having some serious conversations about stepping back from having a relationship with that family.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, she should absolutely press charges.
See, I had been thinking if they hadn't started sending the threatening messages and stuff after the fact, if they had just kind of left it alone, or if they had said, like, you know, have some sort of conversation, some sort of talk, then I probably would say, like, no,
Apologized?
yeah, at least. Then I'd probably say, you know, don't press charges, just move on, grow, and continue on with life. But no, they're starting to go schoolyard on her and threatening messages and bullying and whatnot. No, press charges.
A week after she married into this family.
Yeah.
And they're treating her like this because her mother-in-law stole her heirlooms.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I thought my in-laws were bad. Love you. I love most of you. You know that. Yeah, that's hot. That's like just insanely horrible, next level ridiculous. And she is definitely not the asshole.
Reddit agrees, not the asshole.
Oh my God.
And
Okay.
you know what? If people still said she was an asshole for doing, I'd still say press charges. Embrace
Oh,
the asshole. But
be
yeah,
like,
no, not an asshole.
okay, if you're going to take it this far, I will go all in.
Let's go.
Let's do this.
Let's go.
Wow. Holy shit. Okay. User Am I Selfish? AITA writes, Am I the asshole for telling my sister that I am not responsible for her life choices and that because she chose to have children with an unstable person, she chose to deal with the consequences? Ooh. My sister Bethany is 12 years older than me. She went to college when I was 6 and stayed in the same city after graduation. So naturally, we have never been close. After college, Bethany met a guy named Adam. Adam was constantly in trouble with the law and could never hold down a job. Against everyone's advice, Bethany stayed with Adam and eventually married him because she said that she had a thing for bad boys. Ugh. And then Adam made her feel edgy and exciting. Let me tell you, Bethany, bad boys are not it, but okay. Bethany and Adam have 4 children. My 7-year-old niece, Amelia, 3-year-old twin nephews, Jack and Nico, and youngest niece, Ray, who just turned 2. Well, almost immediately after Ray was born, Adam was charged with a serious crime, and he will be, at minimum, spending the next 6 years in prison. My parents are in their 60s. They said it was easy to help when Ray and the twins were babies, but now that they're toddlers and it can outrun them, forget it. For that reason, they are asking me to begin taking care of my nieces and nephews since I work from home. They said no one would be anywhere without family, and because I am young, I need to give back and help my family now. I told my parents and Bethany that their plan isn't even feasible. Working from home still means working 100%. That's me saying that, not her. I have to speak with clients and be active in meetings. I can't constantly step away to keep an eye on the kids, especially not one as young as Ray. Plus, I'm 25. I still have college debt to pay back. Babysitting as a teenager does not mean I am ready to essentially become a parent to even one child, much less 4 children. I also reminded Bethany that she has never really been involved in my life other than attending the same occasional holiday parties. We may share DNA, but we're practically strangers. I acknowledged the situation with Adam as unfortunate, but he showed for years that he wouldn't be a stable partner. She was 30 when they had Amelia. She wasn't a naive teenager. She chose the excitement of being with a person like Adam, and she chose to deal with the consequences now. Her choices are not my responsibility. My parents told me that if I don't step up, they are going to leave everything to Bethany and the kids when they pass, and I will not receive any major financial help from them again. I told them to do whatever they wanted and essentially repeated the same thing I did to Bethany about not being responsible for her life choices. I explained the situation to some friends. They agreed I wasn't an asshole for refusing to help with my nieces and nephews because it isn't a feasible option anyway. But a few of my friends said I was an asshole for the way I explained myself to Bethany and my parents. Because no one gets married expecting to be a single parent, and what I said about Adam came off as victim blaming Bethany for her situation. Oy. 2 of these friends said I could at least agree to look after them during my time off, since they're still my nieces and nephews. Am I the asshole?
No.
No.
Why? Okay. Questions. Why does she have to step up and take on a parent role for her nieces and nephews when their douchebag dad goes to prison for a serious crime? Where's Bethany?
Where's mom? Yeah.
Yeah, what does she do? Is she working? Is that why that she needs somebody to take care of the kids? Because I'm pretty sure the author here said that she has a job and, she needs to work to live as well. Do they think that money grows on the trees outside?
Also, do they think that working from home means you're not working? Because we can both tell you from experience that trying to work at home with children is fucking hard.
I work from home, but only when she's not conscious.
Yeah. And I have had previous experiences of trying to have this exact situation with my own kids, of trying to have client calls, and my kid is homesick from school, literally screaming in my face while I'm trying to talk to someone on the phone. This is not a situation that's conducive for like a good environment for anyone. And she's 25.
25, exactly. She's 25.
This is not her problem.
No.
And I agree. Her sister made that choice, and now she needs to deal with those consequences, just like anyone else.
It sounds like they just got a little bit more offended by how she explained her reasoning than the actual, not agreeing to do it to begin with. So,
I mean, I guess she just could have been like, no, I have to work. I don't have time. But I don't blame her for being like, how is this my problem?
I bet she said that to begin with. And then after they were like, no, you're young. You need to give back to the family. You need to do this. She was like, not my problem.
No, she made those choices and we're not even close. It might be different if you were like very close to your sibling and there was more of a relationship there, but
I think if you were very close to your siblings, there wouldn't even be a question and be like, oh yeah, I got you, But this pop up out of nowhere, barely have any kind of relationship and expecting to take on that incredibly difficult role at the age of 25 to somebody. No, not the asshole.
Also, I mean, would they pay her for that? Because it doesn't sound like it.
I mean, hey, if they want to pay her, then she can quit her work from home job and take care of the kids full time and make a living off of that because, she has to make a living.
That's a full-time job.
Mm-hmm. Just because it's nieces and nephews doesn't mean, and the sad thing, it's not the kids' fault.
It's not.
They, they're the ones that are going to essentially end up suffering the most because of it, but it's also not their aunt's fault.
No. Oh, God. Reddit stated, not the asshole. 100% not the asshole.
Okay, I love this next one. User infamous_dogs7037 writes, quote, am I the asshole for asking my friend not to name her cat after a criminal? My 21 female roommate, Allie, rescued a cat a few weeks ago. It is her cat, but I help with taking care of her. We've compiled a list of potential names for the cat. She's orange, so a lot of the names are themed around her color. One of them is Orange Juice. Allie wants to name this cat Orange Juice and call her OJ for short. I don't think this is a good idea because of OJ Simpson. Allie thinks it's the best name ever, and since the cat is an escape artist, then she wants to be able to say, the juice is loose. I told her I think it's a bad name and that I don't want her naming the cat that. She got mad at me and said I have no say in the naming process of her cat. I think she shouldn't name her that because I am still around the cat. I still have to live with the cat, and I don't want a cat named after a criminal. Am I the asshole for asking her to name it something else? End quote.
Yeah, it's not your cat.
The juice is loose.
The juice is loose. It's hilarious. Does this person have no sense of humor?
No, that alone right there is enough to name the cat.
The juice is loose. I don't care if you name your cat Ted Bundy. It's your cat. Name it what you want.
Think of how many people name their animal like Jeffrey and stuff.
Yes.
Because it's naming a cat or naming an animal like a completely human name. There's something hilarious about that. But, not
Having
everyone
a female cat
immediately.
named OJ? That's cute.
It's adorable. And, not everybody immediately gravitates towards like serial killer or murderer when they hear Jeffrey and
No.
John, like
Just because this person associates that with OJ Simpson doesn't mean that everybody else will. And you can always just be like, no, it's orange juice. Like, it has nothing to,
like OJ isn't OJ Simpson. No, it
Like,
was in
no.
fucking juice, you pleb.
Dodo.
Oh God. I love it so much. The juice is loose. I now need an animal in my life that I can name. Ooh, no, that would not be good. I was going to say maybe I can name one of my future snakes like Orange Juice or Juice or something like that, and I can say the juice is loose. But I never want to have to say that about a snake in my house.
Never, ever, ever want to say that.
No, so
I really want a chinchilla. Maybe I can name the chinchilla Juice.
I'll live vicariously through you if you do that. Oh my God, I want a ferret. It's just a furry noodle.
I know. I'm not allowed to get a chinchilla. I'm not allowed to get anything. So
I'm not allowed to get a ferret either. So, it's just wishful thinking here. Please, somebody, if you have an animal named Juice, let us live vicariously through you.
Please send us pictures of your animal named Juice. I don't care what kind of animal it is.
All animals
we love all
are welcome
animals
here.
Oh my God. Not the asshole. I mean, yes, asshole. The roommate should be
author.
allowed. Yes.
Yes.
The author is the asshole. Yes.
100%. And Reddit agrees. Definitely the asshole.
God.
Release the juice.
Get a sense of humor. Jeez. Okay. This next one is by user vegan throwaway 192847. I want to understand the story behind that name, but okay.
A lot of people literally just create
makeup for these
just to do this, so nobody can associate them with it. And I mean, if you're going to be called an asshole for something, I don't want anyone to associate my name. Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Am I the asshole for going to the police over a prank? Throwaway for anonymity's sake in case this does go further. There you go.
Case in point.
To preface this, I, 24 female, am vegan and have been for a good 10 years. I have not eaten meat since I was roughly 3 or 4 years old when I found out where meat comes from. Spoiler alert, there were a lot of tears. This is no secret, and everyone in my life knows and respects this, or so I thought. 4 nights ago, I was at a party, and I will admit I got white girl wasted. Been there. My friends thought it would be funny to feed me chicken nuggets as a prank. Ugh. I checked with them before chowing down. Are these vegan? To which my friends replied, yeah, they're sun-fed, a type of vegan chickenless chicken. They tasted off to me, but I figured it was just because I was drunk. I was wrong. I found out the next day when my sister sent me a message telling me to check my friend's Snapchat story. The story was them showing the nugget packaging and then showing them giving them to me, including the conversation where I asked if it was vegan. And then later them mocking me and pretending to be me when I found out I ate meat. Things like fake crying and yelling, "The chickens!" I had to say it like that. I took a screen recording of the video and took it to the police on the grounds of food tampering, and now 3 of my ex-friends are facing charges. They all think that I'm overreacting to a harmless prank. So, Reddit, am I the asshole? In my view, they took advantage of my drunken state, tampered with my food, and publicly humiliated me. In their view, it was just a prank. Not the asshole.
I love meat. Like, I'm a carnivore through and through, but I completely understand and respect anybody's decision. I was even thinking with the way Tiny is towards animals, like any animal, she goes, "Aw," and has to sniff it. I don't know where the sniffing thing comes from.
Even the phone.
Even anything. So I will not be surprised if when that child finds out where meat comes from, she turns out the exact same way. And I don't know, I guess looking at it through like mom glasses, oh my God, take that shit to the police, not the asshole.
Straight to jail. Yeah. No, not the asshole. You don't do that, especially if they're truly your friend and you know how important it is to them. You don't prank someone like that.
There are so many other pranks you can do. White girl wasted, put some plastic, saran wrap over the toilet and watch her flail like Bambi. That is, she may get injured, but that's more of a harmless prank, not something that she's completely made a lifestyle choice over. You don't, and then laughing and then making a video or Snapchat story
and posting
about
it on social media. That's awful.
That's fucked up.
Not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
At all. No. And Reddit stated not the asshole as well. So fuck those girls. Karma's a bitch. That's all I have to say.
I don't even know how to pronounce this next Reddit username, so I'm just not. So number 9. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Our next Reddit user writes, quote, "Am I the asshole for making my wife think our son was missing? My wife has a horrible habit that I discovered 2 months ago. We were ordering lunch on the Subway app, and I told her to pick the location that has a drive-through. That way we don't have to go inside and take the baby out of the car just to clip him back in a few minutes later." It is such a pain in the ass. She told me it's not a big deal to leave the baby in the car to run in and pick it up really fast. I had no idea she ever did this. I told her I was not comfortable with her leaving him in the car alone, even for a minute. And she told me she's been doing it since he was born, and it's always been fine. She told me she does it to pick up food, run into the post office or pharmacy, etc. I was floored. We don't live in a horrible area, but it's also not super safe either. I told her to not ever do this again. She told me she never stopped to think about the potential dangers and that she would stop doing it. Well, yesterday, as I was driving home from my brother's house, I spotted her car at the gas station near our place. It was parked in a spot up front and not at a pump, so I figured she stopped in to grab some snacks, which we like to do. I decided to stop and go in and say hi and get some food, and I pulled in and parked next to her. However, when I got there, I was furious to find our son in his car seat. The car wasn't even locked. I don't know what came over me, but in that moment, I decided to take my son and put him into my car. He's got a car seat in there too. I then drove to the other side of the gas station parking lot and waited for my wife to come out. It took 6 minutes for her to appear. When she saw that he was gone, she looked stunned for a second and then started to frantically look around and cry. I didn't let it go on long. After this, I saw her pull her phone out, presumably to call 911, and that's when I pulled my car around to show her. I parked, got out, and walked around to my son's door and opened it to show him to her. She looked extremely relieved, but that quickly turned to anger with her asking me why I took him and did that to her. I told her she needed to learn her lesson and she promised to stop leaving him in the car and that she was extremely irresponsible. It was so easy for me to pull up and take him. No one else at the gas station even noticed. So if he really was taken, there would have been no help and it would have been 100% her fault. She proceeded to call me cruel and psychotic and tried taking her son out of my car into hers. I said no and that I would be driving him home, and I left. She came home not much later but ignored me the rest of the day. She acknowledged me today saying that she wanted an apology, and I said absolutely not, and she's the one who should be saying sorry. She's been guilt-tripping me the rest of the day, saying no mother should experience the fear I put her through. Did I go too far? Am I the asshole? End quote.
No.
Oh, no. You know what? If she already said she was not going to do it, she understood, she agreed, and she was not going to do it, why did she do it again?
That is so insanely irresponsible.
I'm going to assume that the car was on and running.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Was the car on and running? How hot was it outside? What's the weather like? That kid could have died.
He said it was not locked. So if it was running, then they just made it real easy for them to steal a car and a baby.
Which has been done before.
If it was not running, then she left an infant in a car. We don't know what time of year it was, so it could have been cold. But either way, or it could have, whatever temperature it could have been. Either way, no, you don't do that. I have left my oldest in the car when she was still in a car seat one time. I had to run into the pharmacy real quick. She was sick and she was sleeping, and I did not want to wake her up. So I parked the car, left it on, took my key, locked it, and I got my mom on FaceTime. And I put my mom on the phone on FaceTime, staring at my child in the back seat.
Oh, wow.
Car running, door locked. I ran my ass in, ran my ass back out. I don't like you. Yeah, no, you don't do that.
You don't do that.
And it seems like that was the only way she was going to learn her lesson. And thank God it was him doing it and not actually it happening. The only reason she can do the guilt trip is because their son is okay.
Because she got caught.
Yep. Not the asshole. Sorry. That one got me heated. Like,
no. Mama bear mode. It's like, how? That's like a divorceable offense, in my opinion. Like, this child is not safe with you.
So if you think that that's okay, like, I mean, my Amazon child is older now, so yeah, I'll leave her ass in the car when I want to go, but she's almost to the age where she can be left home alone anyway. Like, that's not a thing. But Tiny, no, not going to do that.
No. Oh my God. So it doesn't say here, did Reddit say he was the asshole or not the asshole? If Reddit thinks he's the asshole, then Reddit is dumb, because I would be like, I'm divorcing your ass and getting full custody of our child.
Reddit states not the asshole.
Oh, thank God.
Yes. The last one I added in especially for you.
Oh, great. Does this go along with me just screaming at my kids a minute ago?
No.
Okay. Last but not least, user Lego My Lego, and a bunch of numbers, I love that, writes, am I the asshole for suing my ex and her boyfriend? My ex and I divorced 3 years ago. She was cheating, but at this point, I don't care about the relationship anymore. The pending lawsuit has nothing to do with her or him, but rather their actions. Uh-oh. My ex and I have a son, 13 male, that we split time with 50-50. He's a great kid that interests have changed a lot, to be honest, as I imagine more kids teenagers tend to do through the years. Yeah. One thing my son was heavily into at some point was Legos. He used to play with them all the time, and personally, I think they're a great toy for different reasons. I used to love playing them with him, and to this day, I still collect boxes that I leave unopened as a collection. Oh. Well, when my ex and I divorced, she got with someone who loved Legos more, I guess. From what I know, he loves making creations and building the sets. I don't care. Seems cool. He does one thing I think is very weird. He uses crazy glue so the sets can't break or pieces can't be lost. It seems so weird to me. Oh, Jesus. The issue is, I was out of town for all of 3 days last week for medical reasons, and my son wanted to get his PS4 so he could play it at his mom's. Amber is dying laughing right now. This isn't out of the ordinary at all, and he has a key, so he let me know he would be stopping over for it. I told him to have fun when I saw him on the entry camera. My wife's husband was with him, which is a no-no. Ooh. I told him via speaker to not go in and wait on the porch. He flinched, but walked in anyway. I sent my ex a text telling her to call him and tell him he's 1 minute away from a cop call. He left my home with a bag in hand, which I didn't think much of because my son had his games too. Well, my son texted me later that evening and said he didn't know it at the time, but he's pretty sure stepdad took some of my sets. These are all old sets, and 2 are worth big money. When I got home, I confirmed the missing sets and called my ex. She had no idea, but he admitted he took them, but it was so son could have the sets to complete his collection. My son doesn't even like Legos anymore and told his mom he wouldn't steal from me. My wife asked how much it would cost to replace them, and unfortunately, it's more than their savings. Wow. Actually, it would take their house down payment plus more. I told them if they didn't pay in 2 weeks, I was suing and pressing charges. The price in the sets makes it a felony. My ex and her husband are saving for a house, which would give my son more space when he's there. But those sets were going to help pay for his education someday or a home of his own. I filed the police report and have talked to a lawyer, and we're moving forward with the suit. Everyone is calling me a joke because they are just toys, but I don't get it. They are worth real money. I'm not rich, guys. I needed those to help with my son's future. But again, taking this money does deny my son things at his mom's house. Am I the asshole here? I have full body chills. So, not the asshole at all. As a mom with a kid who freaking loves Legos and has repeatedly asked me for the Lego Death Star, the original one, for his birthday, which is $1,000. $1,000 because they don't make them anymore. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that that's the case with these sets. This guy is absolutely not the asshole. And it sounds like he didn't trust this guy in his house already because he told him he wasn't allowed to go inside. But the guy went inside anyway and then proceeded to steal his sets.
Yeah.
That are worth thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars because they're probably collector's editions. So no, this guy is not the asshole at all. What a prick.
I also agree, not the asshole, but I knew that you would. Yeah, this was your wheelhouse. So he edited and added some facts to this and said the sets have been opened, which takes away more than half of their worth, and one of the sets was even glued together.
So the guy glued them together? Wow.
One of the sets was King's Castle.
Ooh.
Milk Truck, Legoland Train, Carousel. And the glued one was a Star Wars snow speeder. Yeah.
Wow, that castle one I've looked for because my son knows about it. Mm-hmm. And that thing, it's really hard to find. You cannot find it, and it is worth thousands of dollars.
I mean, he did say down payment on a house, so.
Oh, not the asshole. I really hope that he wins and gets his money back.
Oh, I know. Another edit, he also said that he did tell his son, he did go through and press charges and everything, and his son was happy he did it.
That breaks my heart for that poor kid. Because he knows, how special that was to his dad, and his dad was, doing it for him.
Yep.
And his stepdad took that away from him.
Yep. And, he was worried about, but again, taking this money does deny my son things at his mom's house, but he'll have the money with his dad now. So.
Oh, that makes me so mad.
We both had one on here that just kind of got us fired up.
Oh my God. Reddit states not the asshole.
Thank God. We only had a couple of assholes in this batch, but
yeah,
a lot of family drama and
and heirlooms.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't intentional. Yeah.
No, but it's just interesting, and it's how can people have so little
regard for other
people's belongings or things that are deemed important to them? I couldn't imagine going to somebody's house and taking something from them that was important or worth something. I wouldn't take anything anyway, but
that's why you won't end up on this thread ever.
I mean,
so
I can definitely be an asshole, but it won't be for something
won't be
like
for
this.
Yeah. I'm still like, the juice is loose. Like, please, God.
The juice is loose.
I need an animal named Orange Juice in my life now.
Let's make it happen.
Anyway, well, that concludes this week's comedy therapy session. Before we go, did you figure out the riddle? Here it is one more time. I am alive without breath, and cold as death. I am never thirsty, but always drinking. What am I? Answer. It's a fish. It's a fishy fish.
Yeah,
I think that one's kind of a stretch in some ways, but yeah, I get it. It's a fish.
I mean, they are breathing.
Just not in the way that we do.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. No, I still would have never figured that out. I don't understand any of these.
I couldn't help. I had to throw that one in there. So yeah, let us know if you figured that out.
Join us next week when we go over a case recommended to us by Amber's mom. It's definitely going to leave you saying, what the? And probably me, because Amber won't let me even look at the case or the script. So I'm going to be learning about it right along with you. It's been really challenging not to get on the Google machine for this one, but I'll do it for you because I love you. It's fine.
Yay.
Definitely go back and listen to all of the other funny What the Fuck Wednesdays that we have. They are definitely worth it, and a great listen if you're looking for something still true crimey-ish, but not as intense or dark if you're looking for a laugh. And until next time, stay safe.
And make good choices. Bye. Bye-bye.
Hey, little skeletons. I don't like what my voice did there, so I'm going to do that again.
Man, I was still going with it. I was geared up like, man, she's bringing the frickin' fire right now. Let's go.
And this is Weird You Crime. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. I don't know why the Jetsons song just like popped into my head.
It's literally what I was thinking. I was like, when the fuck did we get on the Jetsons here? Like,
how funny. I wasn't even trying, but whatever. Okay.
Works. Matthew Lillard is such a prince.
Things like fake crying and yelling. Sorry. Things. Why? Things like fake crying and yelling, the chicken!